India has recently celebrated 67th Wildlife Week from 2nd to 8th October 2021. Many people still relate wildlife to charismatic animals living in forests, grasslands, and hot deserts. When asked about wildlife, the first thing that may come to the minds of laymen is one or the other thrilling animal, either lion or tiger or giraffe or zebra. But do you know that numerous water birds inhabiting ponds in our villages or suburbs or irrigation reservoirs and dams in our agrarian landscapes constitute wildlife too? Ducks, flamingos, swamp hens, egrets, storks, spoonbills, cormorants, terns, and a variety of waders occurring in our ponds, tanks, dams, and irrigation reservoirs in our neighborhood can also be referred to as wildlife. Some of them are even migratory, which come to our village or suburban ponds after flying for thousands of kilometers each year, usually during winter. Our ponds and reservoirs were earlier called water bodies. However, since 1970s, another term, wetlands, has become popular, which includes many types of water bodies and water-saturated or waterlogged areas. Of course, wetlands are not limited to ponds, lakes, and reservoirs. The term wetland is applicable to the lands inundated by waters or the lands saturated with waters. As per explanation and definition by Ramsar Convention 1971, which is an international treaty for the conservation and wise use of wetlands, a plethora of natural or man-made water bodies with flowing or standing waters, as also water-saturated land areas, are referred to as wetlands. Wetlands can either be inland or coastal, and their waters can either be fresh, brackish, or saline. In Indian context, ponds, tanks, lakes, lagoons, floodplains, irrigation reservoirs, dams, streams, seashore, mangroves, coral reefs, creeks, and estuaries, etc. are some of the well-known wetlands. Wetlands play a number of ecological functions and provide multiple ecosystem services. One of the important ecological functions is provisioning of habitat and food to aquatic avian wildlife. On the other hand, a very important ecosystem service of the wetlands is rendering opportunity to birders and wildlife photographers to fulfill their respective passions. An important cause for the richness of wildlife in any ecosystem is its high habitat diversity. Wetland ecosystem, as simple as a village pond or an irrigation reservoir, is no exception to this general rule. In our inland wetlands like lakes, ponds, and reservoirs, which are known to support good avian diversity, at least 3 to 4 habitats play important roles. Moreover, the edges formed at the interface of one or more of these habitats provide best of both worlds to a variety of birds wanting to fulfill their foraging life requisites on one hand and resting or roosting requisites on the other hand. At majority of village ponds, lakes, or reservoirs, open water area is a dominant habitat. In such inland wetlands that are formed due to depression in the land surface, the open water zone is usually located away from the wetland periphery and towards the central portion of the depression. Though the surface of open water zone often appears lacking any vegetation, it is often characterized by the presence of submerged aquatic plants which complete their life cycle underwater. The submerged plants provide food to many species of herbivorous and omnivorous ducks and geese in the form of seeds and tubers. Macroinvertebrates that live attached to these plants also provide food to omnivorous or carnivorous waterfowl. Examples of submerged plants are Potamogeton, Vallisneria, Ceratophyllum, Hydrilla, Cara, and Nigella. Another important habitat component of an inland wetland like lake or pond is emergent aquatic vegetation cover. This is a feature which considerably shapes the external appearance and wildlife value of a wetland. According to the research by certain wetland scientists, good diversity and abundance of birds occur in the wetlands having half of the wetland area under emergent hydrophytic cover. Usually, this habitat is predominantly associated with wetland shore and its nearby shallow water areas. The emergent aquatic vegetation cover can also be referred to as emergent hydrophytic cover, as hydrophyte is a scientific term for macrophyte growing in watery environment. Tall plants like cattails or typha, sages and aquatic grasses constitute this habitat, which is very valuable for wetland wildlife. Many secretive water birds like rails, crates and bitterns, and to some extent other birds like purple heron and purple swamp hen can forage, rest or even nest within or adjacent to such cover. Even some terrestrial birds like silverbill often nest in emergent hydrophytic cover. Some of these plants have tubers or combs on which birds like geese and cranes depend for their food requirement. Many macroinvertebrates live on emergent hydrophytes or amidst the emergent hydrophytic cover, and they constitute a major food resource for several carnivorous or omnivorous wetland dependent birds. Wetlands are often endowed with the blanket of floating leaves of rooted plants like water lily and lotus. Such cover of floating leaved rooted hydrophytes is essential for the foraging activity of some special birds like jacanas, which have evolved special long toes to walk on these leaves. Duckweed or lemna is a free-floating hydrophyte. Though its name is duckweed, it is less valuable as a direct food item for ducks. But lemna has very high habitat value for macroinvertebrates on which omnivorous waterfowl depend to fulfill their food requirement. Open water areas of some wetlands are often dotted with islets. And many of our wetlands, especially natural or semi-natural inland wetlands, have land arms or land strips extending from shore towards open water areas. These islets and land strips, along with their edges, are extremely important for fulfilling resting and roosting life requisites of a variety of ducks, shorebirds, terns, cormorants, darters, etc. Water birds like egrets, herons, and some shorebirds use edges for foraging too. Such islets or land strips are even used by terrestrial birds like wagtails, pipits, and larks for fulfilling their food requirements. Even the muddy or sandy shores of wetlands provide food and resting and roosting opportunities to several ducks, terns, and waders. One may find ground nests of some waders like black-winged stilt on wetland shore too. Undoubtedly, the beauty of winged wildlife in the wetland ecosystem is largely due to habitat diversity in those wetlands. If we want beauty of winged wildlife in ponds and lakes in our neighborhood, we must use different physical components of these wetlands very wisely instead of blindly deepening, draining, dredging, or filling them. In words of conservationist and philosopher Aldo Leopold, our ability to perceive quality in nature begins as in art with the pretty. It expands through successive stages of the beautiful to values as yet uncaptured by language. In a nutshell, to enjoy the beauty of winged wildlife of wetland ecosystems in our neighborhood for many years, people must understand the importance of habitat diversity in those wetlands. Instead of considering wetlands mainly as water storage reservoirs, people should also consider wetlands' value as wildlife abodes and should strive to conserve habitat diversity within those wetlands.